Films realized in order to attract huge audiences, they needed to use attractive or good-looking people.
Exploitation is something that's there, probably every career.
My name is Joy Kiai, and my fascination for modeling started when I was about 8 years old.
It's very hard to get into the acting industry.
I may be pretty, but I do not have all what it takes to be a supermodel.
My name is Ivy Wakiru. I am a student at Kenyatta University. I'm doing film production, and I was the production manager for The Dark Side.
In The Dark Side, I was the producer, screenwriter, and the director.
My name is Brian Tu. I was the DOP and editor for The Dark Side.
It was a school project, first of all, and then we were asked to only do four crew members.
And the rules were, the four of you delegate duties amongst yourselves.
We only had 4 categories: the producer, there's the editor, there's the costume, and then there's the makeup and like the set design and everything.
It was a docudrama, so we had to merge that interview plus the reenactment of the story and come up with something complete.
Common role, everybody knows that. So I had everything planned out. My agent gave it to me inside the car and said that I was supposed to go for an event.
The Dark Side is a story about a young lady who we were writing about the modeling industry and what girls go through. So we were writing through the whole process from the I want to be a model to the point that she actually becomes a model. And now we were showing the different stages that she had to go through and the different things she had to endure just to be able to make it as a model.
The fact that we chose models, to be specific, it's a career that people don't exactly take seriously, and people don't think it's a serious career to have. You know, they just consider it as a part-time thing, and it's not true. People are literally making money just by being models. People have built their lives from just being models, and it's good people to hear about it, and to take it seriously as they take their jobs seriously.
Dark Side was an emotional story to begin with.
Exploitation is something that's there, like everywhere in probably every career, leave alone us that we're talking about models. It's there, even in acting, even in our film industry, there is exploitation. When people working in offices, you'll hear 1 or 2 scenarios of either females or someone being exploited.
The actors, some were brought by the crew member, one of our group members that was a model. So she advised us on the models that we can get, and she hooked us up with a few girls. I think there were like 3. So we used them in our story to be able to strengthen the story. They were adding to our point of view about the things that they go through and how they were able to overcome those challenges. So the film was more about enlightening guys that say they want to do modeling, about what goes through during the modeling period and what you should look for and what you should avoid. So it was more of us helping young guys who are doing modeling.
Syringe, it had whatever it had in it, and he gave it, and he told me to stretch out my hand, you know, like put the injection in. When it pierced through me, it was the most painful thing I've ever felt.
I think the most memorable part of that experience was the commitment that everyone had. Besides being colleagues in that project, we ended up being friends. There are some people who we were friends with before we started, some of the members of the crew, but the people who came on board, the actors, the models, it was a story that everyone contributed 100% to the success of that story. I think that is the most amazing aspect of making The Dark Side that I'll never forget.
Producing was the pre-production. It happened mostly on the pre-production stage. Okay, so it didn't happen during the production. The production was more about us being there and doing the work. Okay, so the pre-production was where I can say I was a producer, because I was planning everything, getting guys together, getting the equipment, telling the four crew members, our group members, having to keep them updated, getting the car, getting fuel, getting food. So that's the period that I can say I was a producer.
Production managing is taking care of everyone's needs. The actors, I'm meant to ensure whatever the actors need for them on set, I'm meant to ensure they have it on time. Whatever the director needs probably on his set, like props or anything useful, during his shoot, I'm meant to ensure that he has it.
While I was shooting, I was trying to get those shots that were going to communicate the different emotions that were going on as we were proceeding with the story. But the whole package of the emotional aspect of the film came in at during the post-production. I was editing. The music definitely was an important part of bringing out the story. The flow of the story also, because the story had a certain flow that you can easily follow the life of the girl, the story of the girl who was narrating her story.
So we talked for like about 10 minutes. And that's when I realized what exactly he wanted. You know, he was pushing, he just kept moving fidgeting his hands on my thighs.
We had like a small departmental festival where the guys were bringing their documentaries, others were bringing films, others was a docudrama. So I think that was the first time I saw guys watching.
This is a project that you edited yourself in your house. It is your own, you feel like it is your own story. So when you see it on the big screen and people watching and following and enjoying, it's an amazing feeling.
I think what captured me was how keen they were with the story. Like they followed the whole story. They were really interested in what was going on with this girl. And then when it ended, we had the disclaimer that this did not actually happen to this girl. It was a docudrama. And then now having to watch guys not believe in that fact. They were like, no, this can't be. You can't be telling us that this didn't happen. This girl was really, really on point. And you're like, well, it's good acting. You really can't blame her because she made you believe in the story.
People were intrigued. People were actually watching. You know, most times, either in the middle of the film, you'll start hearing the audience mumbling or, but people were silent like throughout the film. The critics were actually, they give us hope. The critics, I think, are the people who made us believe in whatever we had done.
Okay, as a filmmaker, I feel proud. I feel proud that we were able to do something like that on a very short period and with very few people. Okay, it gives me hope that we can actually do bigger and better. So now we have to grow from there. Okay, so that's like that's like the bar. We can't go lower than that. We have to be better than that. So all our films that will be coming after that, all my films that will come in after that, have to be better than that.
Some of the people who appreciate your film are people you never expected that you'd ever even meet. And when they talk, they say nice things about your film or they comment about your film. It's a humbling experience and it makes you feel more, you're motivated to do more.
The image industry has been largely connected to film, and we can conclusively say they started around the same period. Films realized in order to attract huge audiences, they needed to use attractive or good-looking people. This became the norm in Hollywood and largely in films until advertisements, television, and fashion caught on. This brought up a whole new industry that would cater and represent these individuals, which later came to be known as the image industry. It comprised of models, TV personalities, movie stars, and lately, socialites. In Kenya, we will focus on the modeling fraternity. The modeling industry has grown in the recent past. This has happened due to the growth of both local and international brands, where they want to connect with the market and hence use local talent. It It is reported Kenya has at least 7 registered modeling agencies. 5 existing in Nairobi, the capital city, and the rest are in Nakuru and Mombasa. There's the good and the bad in this industry, just like any other, but the bad is more prominent. The truth is that there's a lot of exploitation involved in the models. One of the reasons behind this is the lack of government or stakeholder regulation. Models do what few others dare. They seek the spotlight. They look straight into the camera, and they move with confidence. Models sell themselves, their looks, their image, and so sell the product they are promoting on someone else's behalf. Needless to say, gorgeous models warm our hearts when they hit the cartoon, when we see them on the covers of magazines and on those catchy, gigantic billboards. But what happens behind the scenes? Are they the most exploited professionals in Kenya? Did you know that they go through the worst in order to be the best they can be?
My name is Joy Kiai, and my fascination for modeling started when I was about 8 years old. I remember we were watching Miss World Kenya, and the chicks were just walking. They were looking fly, smiling. They were looking like, it's like everything was just about them at that particular moment. And I don't know if my mom noted that I was interested. I think I had a fascinated look on my face. So she was like, Joy, maybe when you grow older, you'll be like them. And I didn't say much. I remember I never spoke, but deep inside me I was like, I want to be just like her. And growing on, as in time passing, and I realized that my life, my everything ever since has been focused on that career path. Finally, I got to Nairobi from my home county, and I knew exactly what I wanted. Of course, there was school and education and also the degree part of it, but my personal ambition was pretty much to get into modeling and get into the fashion world, and it was the only thing that was making me, just be excited about life. So after I did all my investigations and checked online for this guy and these agencies, I found this guy. His name is Mike, and we decided to meet.
The best thing you can do for yourself as a model is to go back before you begin, if you want to begin, and research what is required. Talk to the right people. Don't just talk to anyone. Explore people, not just look into them. Ask them questions. Ask them why this is happening like this, so that you may know where you're going, Because at the end of the day, as much as we are new to any industry, we also know what we want. So if you know what you want and you go out there and seek after it, then as long as you're working hard, you will find it.
And I met him on a Wednesday at Safari Park. I remember it was raining, and he just came in from nowhere. It's like he knew I was going to be there at the exact time. He looked as if, I was always expecting agents to be a bit, what can I say? Not interested, like I'm the one who's supposed to push for them. But this one looked as if, he needed me to be there. At that point, I didn't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I thought it was a great thing then, because to have someone need me, even not knowing what my qualifications were, where I came from, if I had the what it takes to be a great model, and he still needed me at that time. That was great. I thought I was being blessed. So we talked for like about 10 minutes, and that's when I realized what exactly he wanted. You know, he was pushing, he just kept moving, fidgeting his hands on my thighs, and he kept giving me this talk that I was not getting. You know, I thought it was supposed to be professional, but he moved his hand on my thighs and he just, you know, gave me this talk that it was not modeling that he wanted. He wanted to probably exploit me. That was the first impression that I got from him. And then he told me that he had to take a certain percentage from my work. And I remember asking myself, what kind of work was he expecting me to do? Was it the runway thing? That is what I wanted. But the way I saw it, I don't think that is what he wanted. So, but I still went ahead. I thought that this is what everybody goes through, you know. Maybe he's trying to check if I'm competent enough, if I have a thick skin, if I can take all that pressure for being a model. And I thought, you know what, this is the first day and I'm not going to let him get to me. So I just kept on, you know, entertaining what he was bringing forward. So the first order of business was to get a portfolio. Common rule, everybody knows that. So I had everything planned out. The money, the dresses, you know, different attires for that. Like I had seen, you know, on the Cosmo and Vogue magazines how the ladies are dressed up, and I thought it would be the same. So meeting this guy, the photographer, the one he introduced me to, you know, he introduced me to something quite different from what I expected. You know, I was expecting to look so glammed up, but everything he was telling me was to, you know, get your dresses are a bit too long. He gave me some skimpy looking dresses and I didn't like them, but I had to wear them. And then he was interested. Every posture, every angle he was telling me to give out was so, you know, it was beyond, it was below trash. I just, you know, I remember taking the photos and wondering if my mom ever saw me taking these ones. She would not be impressed at all. Maybe she'd take back what she ever said about me ever being a model. And I remember it was so hard. You know, you've never been with a guy like that. So, and then he's telling you to get your dresses out, show more skin, show more thigh, show more, look sexy, extra sexy. And it was hard for me. It was not something that I'm used to. And he noted. And for a moment I thought he was going to tell me to like wear my clothes back and, you know, be the same girl I want to be on camera. But no, he just came forward and showed his injection and a syringe. It had whatever it had in it. and he gave it, and he told me to stretch out my hand. You know, like put the injection in. When it pierced through me, it was the most painful thing I've ever felt. Not even the piercing itself, but I didn't know what was getting into me. But all I know, after 10 minutes, everything was just colorful. I was so lively. It was he. I remember him being like, "Oh, this is the guy I wanted." And at that moment, I thought, I can get anything I want as long as I have that injection in me. But clearly, not everything I wanted. Immediately, he started to undress himself. He was unbuckling his trousers and moving closer. I did not know what exactly he wanted, but I really hoped that he would stop. Every step closer and every touch, it was too much, because in my head I had no idea what's going on.
I would advise the young ones, the people who are coming up right now. Well, I'm not yet there, but I'm thinking it's important for you to know so that you can take very long to get the work with legitimate people, ask questions, and know there's exploitation out there.
All I could remember was his last words. Imagine coming into modeling, you're thinking that you're good enough, and then the last thing a person can tell you is that you're fat.